somebody sitting there, somebody, and the lady sitting there put that back there.
Yeah, somebody can sit here and sit there.
Please don't mind sitting there.
Good afternoon and welcome everyone.
My wife.
Excuse me,
I just want to make sure everybody gets a drink first. So make sure that you order from the waiters and that you get your drinks, and we will start promptly at 12 o'clock.
Well done. Nice work.
Please.
Thank you. You've got a job and a half, you have.
Successful, thank you.
We got a space.
Yeah, well. Where do you want to put people? Here, Pete.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for making it here today. Can you hear? Can you hear? That's fine. I'm sure you could hear if we just spoke louder, but might be soft speaking. So I'm Ashley. I was Heather's daughter, so Ian's niece, and I think most of you know Sam. So we just want to say thank you so much for joining us in memoriam of Ian today. And I'll kick off with Sam saying his goodbyes.
Can I just ask everybody for a 10-second silence? Bow of heads, please. Good afternoon and welcome to Ian Gordon Lowdon's memorial service. Thank you to David and Rose traveling from far and all the beautiful people attending here and online. From the bottom of my heart, I thank you for the messages, the phone calls, and the knocks on the door. The flowers from the people and the company I work for checking in with me in this difficult time. We are all going through. To the family and my friends that dropped everything to be there for me on the day that Ian Lowdon passed away, I say thank you. It has been a long day without you, my friend. I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. So many family and friends are here to celebrate your colorful life. You shared with us in person, at bridge tables, through a camera lens, or especially your love for food and cooking. We've all come a long way where we began on the 11th of September 2019 when we moved in together at 311 on Kloof, with a view from the lounge that gave you a sparkle in your eye every time you looked out the big glass door. All the road trips we did to the faraway gatherings, the good times we've been through. You introduced me to your close friends and family. I'm hoping we all get along and that they would be happy for you. My next big surprise was when you asked me my hand in marriage on the 19th of March, 2024. What a beautiful moment we shared. So many moments I will look after, day in, day out, living my life to the fullest, no regrets, holding on to the memories and important, moving on with life. That I'll be standing here and talking about you so soon is sad and a hard time. I miss the plans we made to go and visit Blommiekie, Adrian, in Malta, to go and see his view from his apartment. I miss you talking to him for hours, every single second, with all the bridge people, making strategies and going forward on the next phone call. You showed me the bigger picture, that hard work pays and responsibilities are like a fine print. You saw anyone as family under one umbrella. Everything I went through, you were there by me. You guided me. You molded me into a stronger man. The 23rd of February 2026, my last words to you at the hospital, I love you, be strong. You replied, I love you too. Try safe to work now. I need to rest. I will make you proud. And thank you, my sunshine, my husband, Sir Gordon Ian Lowdon. Thank you.
Okay. So Ian passed away suddenly 2 weeks ago from an unlikely illness that spanned the 2 weeks prior to that. So unexpected in a healthy, sharp man, and especially for Ian, he was one of the few who survived pancreatic cancer. And like many sudden losses, it left us a little bit stunned. Death is a strange thing when only a body is left behind. Ian was many things: kind, fiercely independent, knowledgeable about almost everything, and wonderfully funny. He had a wicked sense of humor that we shared, and an unforgettable laugh, the kind that started deep in his belly. And he found humor in so many places. Ian loved conversation. He could talk to anyone about almost anything: food, theater, art, or some obscure fact. And sometimes it was just about the absurdity of life and what people were going through. He was one of the lesser judgmental people I know, although he was rather chastising when it came to do things a certain way. He was deeply supportive of many people in his life, quietly so, often without fuss, but always present when someone needed him. And for me personally, Ian was my mom's only and favorite brother, as he was my only and favorite uncle. And with his passing, that final branch of the family tree is one now that only pictures hang on. The lineage of the Lowdons of Lowdon, that family name, ends. However, it carries on within us. And some of my fondest memories were the gatherings at their home and the Michalisburg farm. Those places were full of togetherness and many adventures. And Ian loved his food, making it, experimenting with it, and most of all, making it from scratch. The moment he got his electric pasta maker, he would swear he'd won the UK lottery. The kitchen was very much his territory, and in fact, territory might be the right word. I don't think there are many people who haven't been turfed out of one of Ian's kitchens. So you can watch his YouTube video of visiting Jan's restaurants in the Karoo, and the utter delight it brought him, along with various other amazing and quaint places they visited, from the Antarctic to an off-the-grid hut in the Cape. And this reminds me of his video and photography hobby. I mean, poor Sam is shifting through hundreds and thousands of pictures and videos. And I mean, here's a man in his 70s and 80s who had a YouTube channel. And his special chocolate recipe, I'm sure most of you have tasted his delicious chocolates. And he promised my friend Haylene, while they were debating on how much whiskey should actually go in the chocolates, that she could have the recipe when he died. And who knew it would be a year later? So I hope it's written down, Sam. I don't know if you've come across it. So my brother and I were lucky to get to know Ian because he wasn't very tolerant of children. But somehow, along with his other nephews and nieces, obviously grew up and were better as adults. But later on, he even tolerated the chaos of dinners at my house, Christmas and New Year's celebrations with my children. And he even taught them how to make sushi. So there was I said maybe he was going soft in his old age, or maybe it was Sam's influence, or maybe he did it for Heather, to be there in a way she couldn't. And as I wrote this, I had a flashback to his utter grumpiness when Johnsy was born, Michael's eldest. Ian was so upset because it took his sister, took all the attention off of him. But beneath that dry humor and the occasional grumpiness was someone who loved deeply, laughed easily, and found genuine joy in the people in the world around him. So thank you to everyone who kept in touch, visited him, to everyone who supported Sam and myself, and especially to my brother who was there on the day, who guided us through things we didn't know how to do. So as Ian would say, Sam, my boy. You brought him so much joy, loved him so much, and you two had so much fun together. And I'm blessed to have witnessed some of those special moments, and I'm saddened that he'll miss out on your future experiences. but I'm sure he'll be watching. And I'm so proud how you've stepped up to handle life. Ian would be too, and you've got this. So in closing, Ian, thanks for the chats, the food, the love, and the memories that will stay with all of us. You leave behind a table that's a little emptier, but also a life that was well lived. So today we raise a glass in celebration, pour some on the soil to honor our ancestors, and let's do it the way he preferred, with good food, good company, and a couple of tears and plenty of laughter. Cheers to you, Ian. You'll be deeply missed.
Chris, my brother, is going to do one of the speeches for one of the families from Tracy's side. She didn't think she would hold it together. So, Tracy's a very special person for Ian. Here she is. And Ian loved all her daughters. Very proud of them.
Okay. You hope I can hold it together. All right. Closer. I have known Ian since I was a little child. I have so many happy memories of spending time with Ian and my family at my Uncle Michael's house. He truly was a member of my family and was like an uncle to me. He was so kind to my mom and dad after Michael passed away. Ian helped so much of my mom when she became ill. He took the time to visit my dad in his care home and was always happy to help me when I asked. I'm so happy he got to Jodie's wedding because I know how much it meant to him. I became very close to him his last years, and he became a friend who was so easy to talk to. I will dearly miss him. May his precious soul rest in peace now. From Tracy and family.
Thank you, Tracy. Tanya Rose, I've got Jan and John's message, the two lads. They have been very dear friends with Ian. And Adrian, the clan. Here they are, two very special boys. Guidance, a lot of friendship, a lot of love. Thank you, Rose.
Hello, I've offered to read on behalf of Jan and John. So this is their tribute to their very special friend, Ian. We met Ian and Michael many years ago through a mutual friend, Adrian. From the very beginning, Ian stood out as someone full of enthusiasm and real passion for life. One of Ian's greatest joys was food, as we all know. He loved everything about it: cooking, sharing meals with friends, and following the work and artistry of great chefs. Food was never just food for Ian. It was something to celebrate and enjoy together. After Michael's passing, Ian later met Sam. It brought him great happiness to have someone in his life again who cared for him deeply, and someone he could love and spoil in return. John and I, together with Ian's niece, had the honor of being invited to their wedding and of serving as witnesses to their commitment. It was a very special moment for all of us. Ian was also known for his wonderful ability to plan holidays and events. Everything was always carefully organized, often with a very precise schedule for every detail. That was Ian, thoughtful, organized, and always wanting everyone to have a good time. The Italian club was one of Ian's favorite places, and we still remember with great fondness the wonderful celebration of his 80th birthday here. It was a joyful day, full of laughter, good food, and the warmth that Ian brought to every gathering. Ian truly loved life, and he shared that love with the people around him. His enthusiasm, his generosity, and his joy in the simple pleasures of life will always stay with us. Sam, be strong, and we know you will miss Ian dearly. Ian, you will be deeply missed. Rest in peace, Jan and John.
Thank you very much. I'm trying to keep it together, guys. I'm trying very hard. There's somebody from the Bridge Club that wanted to say something. Here we go. Now, this is more than it became a sport. It first was a hobby, then a sport, and then very serious bridge to the conversations that I hear from my bedroom. But here they are. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. I'm wearing at least 3 bridge hats today. 3 of them. First of all, I speak on behalf of the South African Bridge Federation, then the Gauteng Bridge Union, and Benoni Northern's Bridge Club. We are a family there, and I think Sam would like to see just how many of us came to pay our respects today. Guys, please stand up. Let's everybody see how many came to pay their respects. Benoni Northern's Bridge Club. You'll be surprised how many.
Yes.
How's that? Thanks, guys. I thought Sam would be amazed because he really was a superb member of the club and had been for more years than I have. He always welcomed the newcomers as well, and I know quite a few of the newcomers are here because they said he was always so welcoming to beginners, always so helpful with bridge hints and so on. He will be very sadly missed by us. And I've already done this speech twice, actually, at 2 other bridge places, and so many people came up to me and said, Ian was just so special in the bridge world. I think that's a lovely thing to know. I really do. I was very heartened by that. He played at the big Links Bridge Club on a Saturday afternoon. We can be 250 people there. And I made a speech similar to that there, and so many people came up. I didn't even know them all, to say Ian had made a big impact on them. He had time for everybody. He loved the sport. He was passionate about it. And he always helped tremendously at Benoni Northerns. Thank you, Sam.
Thank you.
I also am one of his bridge club friends. I introduced to Ian by a very, very close mutual friend, and we have an awful lot in common, starting with our names. I'm also Ian. And we were known in the bridge club as the 2 Ians because we were bridge partners. So whenever I introduced, I said, oh, the 2 Ians are here, and to register. We also, Ian and I had a lot in common. I love cooking, but we cooked very differently. Ian, I love very, very spicy food. Ian hated it. He didn't even like mayonnaise. And if I ever really wanted to rub Ian up the wrong way, I said, just try putting a bit of mayonnaise on it. Then we discovered we loved bridge. And not only bridge, we also play a very unusual system called precision. So we became bridge partners. And Ian and I have been bridge partners for ages. Then I discovered we also used to live in Benoni, not only in Benoni, but in the same road, but we never met each other, which I so wasted all those years. I should have met him then. So folks, Ian was a very good friend of mine, and I really miss him. And Ian, thank you for being you.
Thank you very much, Ian. Right, we're just getting the aircon switched on for you guys a little bit. It's getting a bit hot in here. Uncle Butch, you want to stand right there? It's fine. It's not a problem. I don't hope the mic will squeak.
Hello all, and welcome to this occasion. My late wife Heather was Ian's brother, and they had such a wonderful relationship. And unfortunately, I lost Heather 13 years ago. So just sorry.
Ian and his sister was very, very close together. I can add that every year, Ian lit a candle for her next to her and Michael's picture. Every year we did that for them. They were dearly loved and looked after. Thank you, Uncle Butch.
I have a message from Elodie Keeley, in Melbourne. And it's just, she's still going strong. I think she's 98 now. And many of you from the Benoni Bridge Club will remember her. And as she would say, bly sterk.
Thank you very much. So we have Uncle Dave, which is part of the faraway people, the community of people he stayed with when he got to Johannesburg, a huge group. And every year Ian made sure that they get out to do a reunion. And I am lucky enough to share a couple of years with these people. I did their cell phones for them. That was the first thing. Second thing was do the luggage and make sure everybody's happy on drinks. And it was an enjoyment to see Ian prepare food for these guys and the way they talk about their memories. Uncle David.
Thank you, Sam. Can you all hear me? Please do not be frightened by this great tome of paper. My eyes are old, so it's very large print. But Sam has just worked a flanker on me by asking me to read something that Ian wrote. I don't know about you, but for me, I've never been to a memorial of any description where the person in whose honor the memorial is has written something for it. That, I think, tells you something about our dear friend Ian Lowdon. He was a very unique man. So I will now read what he has written for us all. I know that this is a little unprecedented, but I thought I would like my last say to today. That's Ian. I was born the only son of Jean and Gordon Lowdon in Broken Hill, Northern Rhodesia, on the 14th of December, 1944. I had an elder sister, Jeanette, and later a younger sister, Heather. My dad worked on the Rhodesian railways, and as a result, we were transferred around a bit to Umtali, Bulawayo, back to Umtali, then to Kitwe in Northern Rhodesia, and finally Salisbury. I finished my high school days at Umtali Boys High School to Rhodes University to start my training as a teacher in mathematics and geography. Things went a little off course in my second year when social activities dominated my academic year. Were it not for my parents, I'm not sure where I would have ended up. They forced me to return, for which I would be forever in their debt. And 2 years later, graduated with a BA degree, followed up with a BA honours in psychology 1 year later. After spending another year at Rhodes working in a junior capacity in the psychology department, I joined General Motors in Port Elizabeth in their personnel department. A year later, in 1970, through the influence of Simon Troughton, who I met at Rhodes and who also lived in Salisbury, I was invited to join the company he was in Johannesburg with, that is St. Thomas Placements. Simon was instrumental in directing my life in some way in the years to come, but perhaps in one direction in particular. He was renting a room in a commune, the way many young people lived in those days. The commune was called Faraway. Based in Sandhurst, opposite Marriott Brothers, was this large 10-bedroomed, 5-bathroomed house. As luck would have it, one of the inhabitants was moving out, and I was invited for an interview to see whether I would meet the criteria for the house. Fortunately, I did, and shortly afterwards I moved in. And so began a relationship with 9 other people, which still endures to this day. In the 70s, when the house broke up because it was being sold, we all went our merry ways, but remained in contact by mail and telephone. The good old days. With the advent of the digital age, suddenly everything became a lot easier. By now, members of the House were living in the USA, England, Denmark, New Zealand, and Australia. We had a reunion in the early 2000s at Mike and Sally's house in Hermanus, and we've had a number since then. In March 2019, we had our 50th year reunion at a game farm in Dinnergem. Present were Mike and Sally Wynne, David and Rosemary Wharton, Simon and Moira Troughton, Kirsten Abel, Peter and Monique Taylor, Jenny Campion, and me. Unfortunately, Michael could not join us as he was ill, and he elected to stay at home. Missing were Derek Burt and Vivian Trott. Vivian was also not very well. At the time of our reunion, only one of our group had died, and that was Judy. She died of cancer of the throat. Her husband Arno had died a year prior. Since the reunion, Michael Chaplin, my partner, and Vivian Trott, my bestest girlfriend, both died. Michael of leukemia very suddenly, and Vivian of a debilitating disease of the throat. Far Away and its people influenced my life and the lives of all of us in so many ways. We are like brothers and sisters. That bond that is built when you are young, it never goes away and can never be repeated or replaced. We laughed together. We cried together. No one can come between us because we protect each other fiercely. Thank you, Simon and Moira, Viv, Mike and Sally, David and Rosemary, Kirsten, Jenny, Peter and Monique, Derek, Sven and Margot. My working life took me to a number of interesting companies, and I also worked on my own on 2 occasions, one in the human resources field, placement field, and the other in catering, where I think my real vocation lay. But that's water under the bridge. I'm sure that anyone who has eaten at our house has always left well fed and watered. Hear, hear. I loved my cooking and tried to excel, no matter the occasion. Whether it was a simple sandwich or a rack of lamb with a reduced chocolate-infused sauce, it always received my 100% attention. While at Far Away on a wet wintry afternoon, sitting next to the fire, Judy suggested she teach me, or teach those of us who were interested, how to play bridge. Kirsten, Mike Wynne and I were in, and Simon Troughton, who already played the game, and Judy started teaching. So began a love affair with the greatest game in the world. At one stage, we had up to 4 or 5 tables in our lounge at Far Away every Thursday night. And we collected a fair amount for charity. Simon later married Moira, a bridge fanatic, who is now a grandmaster in the USA, as is Simon. We continued playing after the house broke up, and unfortunately I had a break of a few years. I never knew where things were, I never knew there were things called bridge clubs, where people played competitive bridge. In 2010, I joined 2 clubs in Benoni. Benoni Northern's Bridge Club, which is associated with the Northern Sports Club. The pinnacle of my bridge career was in 2018, when Bill Wilkie and I came 34th in the SA National Championships. I felt that I had come of age. On our winter stays in Margate, I always played at the Margate Bridge Club and met a great group of people there too. In fact, the only people I knew in Margate were the bridge people. The Bridge fraternity is a bit like the Faraway group. They are a great group of people, always there for each other. They miss you when you are not there and show tenderness and concern when needed. Bridgers come from all walks of life. Excuse me. From rich and not so rich, from highly skilled to not so highly skilled, but all with one objective, the love of the game and the people playing it. And it has to be said, the most least expensive pastimes you can find. If you're not at the club, you can have a pickup. You can have a pickup for at home. All you need is a pack of cards. Thank you all for the many hours of enjoyment. It has been great playing with you these past years. Finally, there's one person who I shared my life with for 47 years, and that is Michael. We did so much together. We traveled the USA a few times. South America, the Antarctic, Europe, Copenhagen, and Oslo and the Arctic Circle. Four or five barge trips in France with Dot and Dave, the Mediterranean and Turkey, where we witnessed the 9/11 onslaught in real time on TV at the English pub in Istanbul. The Far East, not Boxburg, including Japan, Thailand, Hong Kong, Taiwan, Oman in the Middle East, Malta and Sicily, and a boat trip from Genoa to Durban. Thank you, Michael. We spent many happy times in Margate too over the last few years, where Michael was a welcome visitor to the Margate Country Club after bridge on a Friday afternoon. In fact, I think they liked him more than me. These are the bridge folk. Locally, we travelled extensively, and almost annually we visited a game reserve to regroup. Michael's family and their children have also been like my second family. Thank you, Joan and Hans, Ken and Maureen, for making me feel a part of your family. And finally, I would like to thank Brian, his late wife, Alan, and his partner, Doria. They too have been friends for over 50 years, and we have shared many happy, sad, exciting, and fantastic moments together. As I move on now, I must say that I think I had a happy and a blessed life. It had its ups and downs, like we all do, but we managed to survive somehow. And in my later years, I miraculously survived the Whipple's procedure and the chemotherapy after I was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. It was ironic that Michael was taken away from me shortly after my last chemo session, having nursed me through the process after I was diagnosed in Margate in 2018. As I moved on, I met a young man called Sam van Sale, who has been my rock since 2019. He and I got together and lived together in Bedford View. On the 19th of March 2024, we married. Thank you, Sam, for your companionship, understanding from the time we met. Living with a much younger person is no easy matter. Adjusting to the whims and fancies of the younger generation is no easy matter either. Perhaps if I had had children of my own, I would have been better equipped. I guess it has been a matter of give and take. Thank you, my boy, for caring for an old man with all his problems, both physical and emotionally. Thank you all for coming to send me off to wherever. It is greatly appreciated. Our dear friend Ian. Hello again. My name is David, and you've heard about Far Away from Ian himself. It was a place of accommodation for a bunch of young single souls who decided they could live together a much better lifestyle if there were 10 of them under the one roof of a very large house called Far Away Cottage. A cottage it may have once been, but it had grown like Topsy, and Ian was one of those who shared with us in the lifestyle of this wonderful place. So was born the Far Away family, and today it is my privilege, with their blessing, to be their spokesman. Ian Lowdon was one of those well-brought-up people who, although highly intelligent and coming from a humble background, never lorded it over others. He was a kind, well-educated individual with good manners, who was helpful and, thank you, helpful and generous to the many people he came into contact with. He also had a very keen wit. He didn't suffer fools gladly, but had a firm and gracious way of telling you that you were wrong. He was good with people, artistic, had good taste, loved cooking and making chocolates. And it was, I think, the people's reactions to his creations that gave him real pleasure and kept him repeating his magic for his friends. It was that tray which probably got him into his commercial catering life. He was a great and generous host, and certainly raised the bar when it came to catering at our faraway reunions, wherever they were. If he wasn't doing the food thing himself, he certainly made sure that the rest of us did the right catering under his direction. He taught me how to cook prawns and meat, and when it came to food matters, you argued with him at your peril. I'm sure my faraway brothers and sisters will well remember the heated discussions which took place at Judy and Arno's home in Neisner in 2009. And it was an argument about gravy, soup, and jus. We certainly got an education that night, but as always, done in a nice way, with much firm talk and hearty laughter. Ian liked art, and even became a quite competent artist himself. He also loved good music. He had a very good command of the English language, and I'm sure it was this and his wit, plus some of his other qualities, that caused him to have a deep affection for our sister Vivian. She finally went to live in New Zealand, but still managed to join us at the second reunion in the Cape, and Ian visited her when he went off on one of his world tours into her part of the globe. Ian was the great catalyst of the faraway family, traveling both locally and overseas to see us all. Ian was good with the camera, both stills and movies, and became very adept at creating lovely DVDs of our reunions. Thank you, Sam. Which later on carried really good commentaries composed by Ian and delivered in his own inimitable way. He had a lovely speaking voice. Mike and Sally, Peter, Rosemary and I have just spent a lovely week together in the Berg, which included a visit to the Drakensberg Boys Choir School, all instigated by Ian, who, together with Sam, excuse me, was meant to have been with us. Yet while still in hospital, Ian talked to Sam as if they were still going to join us. It was not to be. But that is the reason why we went ahead with that SA reunion. Mike and Sally, Monique, Kirsten, Jenny, Derek, Simon and Moira, Sven and Margot can't be with us in person today, but are certainly with us in spirit and are hopefully joined via the link. Vivian, Derek's Terry, Jenny's Henry, Ian's Mike, Judy and Arno have gone before us, but they all knew Ian and loved him. Not all of these people were actually in Faraway with Ian, but are regarded by the Faraway family as in-laws, as Sam is today. We are here for each other for as long as God gives us the ability to breathe. Some of those who are not with us in person today have asked me to say something on their behalf. First of all, Kirsten in Copenhagen says, Ian, I will miss you forever. And in saying that, she surely speaks for all of us who knew him well. Mike recalls the day of his marriage to Sally and requested I tell you the following story. The wedding was a very smart affair, and Ian was Mike's best man. They left the church from Faraway, ahead of the rest of us, in an open-topped, chauffeur-driven Rolls-Royce. And at the end of the drive, just before the car proceeded onto the main road, Ian instructed the chauffeur to stop the car. He then said to Mike, Mike, this is it. You can either turn right for Jansmuts Airport, and we'll probably never see you again, or you can turn left to the church and get married to Sally. It's your last chance of freedom. Mike said, turn left. He genuinely says he has never regretted that decision, but only Ian Lowdon could have come up with a quip like that at such a time. And 50 plus years later, Mike still treasures it. Simon, who Ian has just mentioned in his eulogy, is now living in the USA and sums up his friendship with Ian very succinctly. He says, Ian was a very good, very loyal friend for over 60 years and had a great sense of humor. Only the good die young. Said from the heart, Simon, and thank you. I'm sure we all agree. Monique says she will always remember Ian as a keen bridge player. She says, we often played together online. Much better were the times when we played whilst on the holiday at our reunions. We would always set up a table and have some really good games involving the other faraway bridge players. And for hubby Peter, Monique recalls how Peter craved Ian's homemade bread and how Ian used to regale us with all the detail of how he had made it and baked it until it had risen just so. She continues, we will miss you and the many happy reunions we've had together. Rest in peace, Ian, with love from Peter and Monique. I think that speaks for every one of us in the Faraway family. Thank you, Ian, for everything you meant to us. Forgive us if we got anything wrong. Adios, good and long-time friend. Thank you.
Thank you, Uncle David. I appreciate it very much. To everybody dressing colorful, bright, to all the ladies looking absolutely spectacular. Ian would have loved it to the bits. We are going to serve food now and have a good talk. Enjoy it. Thank you very much for coming. Main course is after, and there is a dessert as well. Enjoy. Thank you very much.
Please, let me take it from you.
Peter will bring you some food from home. He's done well, the lad. He's done strong.
Sorry about that. Caught your leg.
No, that's fine. Just move the table out of the way.
We don't want to knock anything.
No, that's fine. I just want to get the camera and things out of the way. Yeah. Okay, Sam. Ja, ik zag hem wel.